What's going on, Authentic Collective? So, woo, boy, did I just get my now, Lord, what should I say? I got my bubble busted. Isn't the right terminology. Well, anyway, at the end of the day, I just got ripped a new one. How that's what it is. I just got ripped a new one, and I say that in a good way. I've been in this place. I want to share some things with you guys. Um, because I want you to prosper. I want you to thrive. I want you to be successful in the midst of any and everything that's going on. And so the title of this video is Do the Boring Shit. Okay, you want to thrive. I mean, everybody wants to thrive, right? You want to do really good in your business, and you know what? The pandemic is no respecter of persons. Sound like the Bible talking about God, huh? The pandemic doesn't care because you a woman. The pandemic doesn't care because you black. The pandemic doesn't care because you're an entrepreneur. You be whatever kind of minority you want to be, but at the end of the day, the pandemic does not care. And so I'm going to talk about doing the boring shit because I was in a group meeting with some amazing entrepreneurs. You know, it's you want to get in the room with people who are smashing your shit. So listening to people that have hit seven figures, eight figures in their business and their mindset, and think about this, hearing their mindset when COVID hit. See, that's the kind of atmosphere that I need to be around because, being around some of y'all, I'll be honest, I can't listen to you guys because you're lazy. You're excuse driven. You sprinkle in little words that excuse you from being your greater self. You say things like, oh, yeah, I'm still hanging in there with my business, but, ever since COVID hit, I haven't been able to. How about you switch that and start saying, yeah, I'm still doing good with my business. And right now I'm working on what I can do. Y'all know my favorite question is, what can I do? I'm working on what I can do to tap in or lean into my audience a different way or offer a spin-off product from other people who need what I have because I got to move differently. I listened to a business owner who had just reached eight figures last year in 2019, who specifically did a business that was based on live events. See, we got little boy problems compared to him. He lost $5 million from March to, okay, don't quote me on his dates, from March to May. It's like, what in the world do we do? And so they had to pivot and do some things differently. And because they pivoted, then what was available online, they actually made more money in one quarter, less than a quarter, than they did all last year. Why? Because they pivoted. Why? Because they did not cry. If you've decided to be an entrepreneur, you have decided to be a professional problem solver. But if you have found yourself doing, whatever it takes to get by, thriving in a place of mediocrity, then it's time for you to do some inner work. I wasn't thriving in a place of mediocrity, but I would be honest and say that there was a level of comfort and complacency that I was experiencing right before the shit hit the fan with me. For those of you all that know, I kind of took we won't even call it a hiatus fully because I still kind of popped in and out. But even me being gone from social media for a week is like, oh my God, August doesn't do that. But when changes happen, when things occur, it's because there's a natural system of disruption. That's the way that God created everything. If you're feeling fine and you're fancy free, and even though you eat Skittles and Snickers for breakfast, you got a matter of time before you're in a hospital and you're finding out that you're going to have to do insulin shots every day because your body's going to disrupt your fancy free jumping and bouncing around and say, you're not doing me right. You know what I'm saying? What do we learn about the cycles? When the water evaporates and it goes all into the clouds and when it gets full, it has to rain. That's disrupting your sunshine. That's just the way that things are built. And so here it is. While I was talking about progression and moving forward, going out of 2019 and being this wonderful, magnificent, next level boss above beyond what I was before last year, then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. And I had a choice to be caught up in my feelings and be like, this is not fair. This is not right. Look at all this work I'm doing, all of this effort, energy I put in to inspire other women to do these things. And what I did instead was I did the boring work. I read the books and I'm still reading. I'm still studying. I'm still doing the work. But I began to delve into the things that weren't necessarily considered profitable for my pockets, but they were profitable for my spirit. They were profitable for my sanity. They were profitable for my soul. And guess what? I realize now that they're also going to be profitable for my pockets because it's heightened me and it's enlightened me as a coach. And so some of you all, the only thing you want to do, you already don't like writing copy, but you will at least go ahead and learn how to do it because you just figure if you learn how to post, oh Lord, if I could just learn how to post and put my offers out here and get some people to click the link, you know what I'm saying? Then, I can start making some money. But the boring things that you don't want to do, those are the foundational pillars for your business. You know, you're too busy. Listen, I was talking about this on Facebook, you know, when talking about how the pandemic doesn't discriminate. Some of you guys are so busy trying to figure out how to have a 4-hour work week when you need more than a 4-hour work day. You're so busy I became an entrepreneur so I could be in control and change my life. Dude, you just quit your job 6 months ago. You can barely say who your ideal client is. You just finally came up with a package. You just finally about to start selling it. And you may realize that as fast as you start selling it, you have to go revamp and tweak that because you're going to learn something about yourself. And so you're trying to expedite this thing. But guess what? Even if that wasn't your issue and you came straight out the gate, knowing that you had a proprietary process, knowing exactly who it is that you serve, you still a nobody. You still not known. What if the graduation of your business is in the connections that you make? What if you're just one connection away from finally having someone who's willing to put you on their platform for you to get access to the right people that are going to flood your account and buy all of your ish? What if? But you don't want to do the boring stuff, or better yet, the annoying stuff, and actually connect with people daily. Oh, yeah. Like, seriously, somebody sends me a friend request. It's like, hey, thank you for the friend request. You know what I'm saying? It's really super cool. Blah, blah. My name is August. I do this, blah, 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 blah. Starting a conversation. Because then that conversation with a little bit of back and forth, before you know it, you've been online for 20 minutes. But 20 minutes may be what leads to, 20,000 or more. And so you guys have to do the boring stuff. You do. I'm working with a client right now who was just telling me about all of these things that, the ladies that she's connected with, what they're not doing. But as her leader, I said, people want to be influencers, but a real influencer is a leader. I said, this is where your leadership is lacking. This is what you need to do. Matter of fact, this is the book that you need to read. And we're going to discuss this together and talk about what it looks like and how you leading your team. It's been almost a month and she's only read the first chapter. I said, oh, you a hypocrite. You mad because your team won't do what you believe they should do, but you're not doing what your coach asked you to do. Oh, you want to know why? Because, oh my God, I'm really not into reading. It's really boring. It seems like it's meaningless, but it's going to change how she speaks. It's going to change the look in her eyes when she speaks to people. It's going to change the creativity in her mind and how she encourages engagement. And then she's going to find herself spiraling out of control with great ideas on how to get people to do things that they never believed that they could do. But that ain't going to happen if you don't want to do the boring work. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Crunches, one, You can't want you got to do more than just crunches for my fitness experts. But seriously, you know what I'm saying? You can't want the flat abs and you don't want to do the boring sit-ups. This journey takes work. And it's not going to let up and say, you know what, Queen, you need some self-care right now. Go take a nap. And I'm not saying that you can't take naps. I'm not saying that. This is not what this is about. But some of you guys find room to be mediocre and to be lazy while you're building your business, because you wouldn't do that shit if you was working a job. You would be tired as hell. You would go caffeinate the hell out of yourself to make sure that you're still able to function for that job. But you will quit and you will go lay down. There have been times when I have been tired and I'm watching a training video sitting here at my desk and I'm like, oh my God. I will stand up and walk in circles while I look at the computer screen and listen. I prefer to read, but you better believe, unfortunately, that means I may have a double expense, print book and audio book. I need to soak and digest any information. So maybe I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do the audio because as I'm sitting here reading, my eyes are getting heavy. We can accomplish whatever we want to. You did it for that 20-page research paper that you waited until the night before to write. You did it for that boss that didn't even give a damn about you and you weren't going to get an adequate raise. I thought you were doing something that you were passionate about. I thought you were doing something that you love. When you do something that you love, you don't feel like you're working. Oh, I'm sorry. You feel like you're working because you're doing the boring shit. So success in entrepreneurship has to do with being disciplined. And if you're not definite about what your purpose is, then you won't have the motivation and the encouragement to push. And I'm going to tell you something. Right now is not the time for you all to be indoctrinating your minds with an overly excessive amount of, oh my God, but I have to make sure that I practice self-care. Hey, maybe your self-care isn't the fact that you need a nap. It's the fact that you should have ate a bunch of leafy green vegetables. Maybe it's the fact that you should have took a vitamin and you should have drank plenty of hot water and made sure you were hydrated instead of going to get a mani-pedi. Maybe it was the fact that you didn't give your body the fuel that it needed so that you wouldn't be tired. Maybe your self-care is the fact that you feel like you should take a nap when you really should go take a brisk walk for 20 minutes and then get back to it. I need you guys to heighten your mindset and your state of thinking and how you are showing up, because you better believe that when the next phase of this pandemic comes and when this pandemic is over, some of you all are going to be on your knees and some of you all are going to be on a mountaintop. But please understand, the ones that are on your mountaintop realize that they didn't get there by just wanting to be there. I may not have never climbed a mountain, but I have read about mountain climbers. And how many of you know that some of them can only go up so high because they have to adjust and get used to how thin in the air is. So you do all of that work to climb and not get to the top only to go back down. What about the strength and the endurance? What about just learning how to use all of the tools so that you could be able to make sure that you're exercising safety? The boring shit. So quit finding ways to be mediocre and begin to discover the way that you can show up better, stronger, and harder than you ever had before, because this is the opportunity for the winners to shine. Some of you are not going to make it because you're trying to figure out how to, just be lackadaisical about this. That's okay. Mediocrity has no place in championships. None at all. The winners are sold out to their purpose, and the only thing they see is the finish line. They see themselves, and so as they're seeing themselves, they're dedicated to doing whatever it takes to get to that goal. So that's my word of wisdom for you all today. I'm going to be back. Your girl is on fire. I'm excited. I got a lot of great things coming up, and you all better believe that I'm coming back 2,000%. I got some stuff that I'm going to unleash, but I got to wait until some things are done. So I will talk to you all later. Deuces.